Nobody knows I exist. 3 weeks ago, I was in an interview, half an hour. And in that half hour, I had to fight for attention. I had to fight for context. I had to fight against the interviewer's assumptions. 30 minutes to explain 20 years of work experience. That's not an interview. This is a checkbox comparison. And in that moment, I realized something. The biggest problem most experts and consultants, independent professionals have isn't skill. It's visibility. Nobody knows who you are. Nobody knows what you stand for. Nobody knows what problems you actually solve. And that realization hit me harder than any rejection ever could. So there I am, sitting in an interview with some corporate king of the jungle, and he's asking me very technical, basic questions. And instead of talking about strategies, instead of talking about actions we could take, it was just an exercise of him going through the checkbox and making sure that he has everything covered so that he can compare me with that pile of CVs on his desk. I walked out of that interview with a strange mix of frustration and clarity. I wasn't frustrated because I didn't get the job. It's normal. You lose a dozen to win one job. But because finally it ticked and I understood what was really happening. That man didn't know me. He didn't know what I stood for. He didn't know my way of solving problems and why this way works. He was judging me based on some generic criteria as everybody else, because I hadn't done the work to make sure people knew who I am even before I walk into that door. If he had known me, we would have been talking about alignment, not assessment. We would have talked about strategy, not checklists. And that's the problem, not just for me, but for anyone who's built their expertise quietly. If nobody knows you exist, you don't get to choose the conversation. You're just another person in line. You just answer other people's questions. You become a series of ticks in a box. And that's when it clicked. Visibility isn't about ego. Visibility is leverage. When people know who you are, what you stand for, and what problem you can solve, you enter every room with the context already on your side. When they don't know you, you start from zero. You can have 20 years of work experience, you can have the results, you can have the clients who swear by you. But if you're invisible, you'll keep playing by someone else's rules, rates, process, hoops, checklists, everything. Visibility flips the power dynamic. It puts you in control of the process, the value, and the price. And that's why the first job of any business owner, before systems, before teams, before scale, is to make sure that the right people know you exist. Then the second realization hit me, and up until now I was still thinking and acting like a freelancer. A freelancer delivers, but a business owner builds and promotes. A business owner's job is simple. You acquire business, you acquire talent, and you make sure that the talent and the clients succeed together. Everything else is detail. So now I'm applying a framework from Alex Hormozi: promote, deliver, build. Promote so that the right people know who you are and what problems you solve. Deliver so they get the results and you earn trust and a lot of cash. And build so you can keep doing it better, faster, and at scale. And right now I'm in the promote stage. Nobody knows I exist, then nothing else matters except for promoting. And this is my homework now, to answer one simple question: what do I want to be known for? That's where visibility starts, clarity. If you don't know what you want to be known for, then the market won't know either. And that question leads me straight into the next activity that I'm going to do, defining my Grand Slam offer, the clear, undeniable promise that connects what I do best with what my client needs the most. And until then, if you're building your own business, ask yourself 2 questions. Who knows you exist? And what do they know you for? Again, if nobody knows you exist, nothing else matters. This is Muhammad Ali. This is Built with Zico. See you in my next video.